Trauma triggers can feel so overwhelming and just straight out of control sometimes. And trust me, I am right there with you. Trauma triggers are one of the hardest things to learn how to manage in our healing journeys. Because the thing about trauma triggers is that they often happen before we even realize what's going on. So these triggers completely hijack our brains and then flood our entire body with biochemicals that amps us up to either fight or run away. So when this is happening, it can be really hard to catch what's going on prior to responding in ways that, quite frankly, we just wish we hadn't. And so while I know just as much as anyone else out there how out of control it can feel in these moments when we feel triggered, I also know with the right tools and consistent practice, trauma triggers do not have to continue to control you or your relationships. Some things to keep in mind when learning how to manage these triggers is, first of all, we have to gain awareness around our relationship programming. So this is the messaging we received in childhood about ourselves, about others, about relationships. We also have to be aware of what type of present day situations create worry and fear and anxiety for us currently, both big and small. Become aware if it's maybe too much space or too much closeness with your partner that might feel a little triggering or overwhelming. And also a really good tool is engaging in daily mindfulness, even just 3 to 5 minutes a day, to increase awareness of what your body is like at baseline in this calm state so that you're able to catch when you're having a trigger. Something that can also be helpful is learning to ask yourself, what story am I telling myself when you're feeling triggered? So is this coming from a place of truth or trauma? Learning how to regulate, so deep breathing, sensory distractions, and understanding that triggers are normal. So learning to give yourself patience, grace, and compassion when they happen. Also, just a heads up, learning to manage these triggers is hard, but actually practicing them and putting them into use is that much harder. So something we can use are the 3 W's. The first W, what's going on? So when you are experiencing a trigger, be aware of those physiological cues in your body. Again, that 3 to 5 minutes a day of meditation or mindfulness can be really helpful so you know what your body feels like at baseline. The second W, where is it coming from? So when you sense those physiological cues, really stop and ask yourself, where is this threat coming from? What just happened? What am I anticipating happening? And then really checking in to see, am I making up a story about this situation that's making me feel worse right now, or is this an actual threat? And then the third is to explore and identify what the most effective ways for you. So we're all unique, so we all calm down in different ways. But what is the most effective way for you to calm down in those moments? Deep breaths, taking a walk, getting a drink of water, calling a friend. Triggers are a powerful, powerful force, but you can learn how to manage them, which is crucial for the protection and well-being of yourself, your partner, and your mental health.